Today we're looking at Ridgefield, Washington, which is a hot suburb of Vancouver. You're gonna see why so many people are picking Ridgefield as a sleepy community that's developed massively in the last few years. We're gonna check out the downtown scene. We're gonna check out all the new construction happening. So by the end of this video, you should know everything there is to know about Ridgefield, Washington before you consider the move up here. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tim Jackson. I'm a real estate agent licensed in Oregon and Washington. Today we're going to drive around Ridgefield, Washington, which is a suburb just north of Vancouver. And what you're going to see today is a ton of development, a ton of new stores, coffee shops. You're going to see some new construction. I'm going to rank all 5 new construction companies in the area, and I'm going to show you a slept-on massive wildlife refuge where you can drive through, walk, see tons of migratory birds coming through our beautiful Pacific Northwest. So these roundabouts have actually become really popular in Ridgefield, and you can actually see that's a brand new Costco that just opened up late last year, and you've got an In-N-Out burger hailing from, if you're commenting or if you're watching down below from California and you know where In-N-Out Burger started, my guess is Los Angeles, but obviously it's a California tradition and it's taking over the Northwest favorite of Burgerville. Us Washingtonians and Oregonians really have a taste for that nice Californian fast food. It's really making a wave up here. So we're actually pulling onto Pioneer Street right now, which is shut down. It's kind of the main artery for Ridgefield. There's not a whole lot of ways to get up here. As you come up that I-5 stretch, Pioneer Street, which is right now just reduced down to 2 lanes with tons of construction going on, a lot of roundabouts, is that main artery that sources all the traffic. So this road does tend to get fairly clogged in the rush hour traffic. But there's a Starbucks, tons of storefronts along Pioneer Street. And then on either side of Pioneer Street is where you're gonna have really homes ranging. A lot of Ridgefield is newer construction or brand new construction. Right now there are 5 construction companies that have active listings in the area. And if you go a little bit further out, you're gonna find more. And you're also gonna see boutique mom and pop builders up here who build 1 or 2 homes. You know, the crazy thing about Ridgefield is that though the first U-Haul location is down in the Lentz neighborhood of Portland, right off of like 92nd and Woodstock, the original founder, they actually say that like U-Haul was founded in Ridgefield because it's where the original owner started it up. So it's funny that, you know, a company known with all its images and moving trucks actually started here in a city that's been sleepy for so many years and has now had tons of U-Hauls like almost coming back to nest, so to speak. I mean, Ridgefield is one of those communities that is starting to take off and make a name for its own. It's doing something very, very similar to what people saw happen at Camas about 10 years ago, where Camas was kind of just a nobody sleepy town, and then all of a sudden the downtown stretch got completely renovated. Tons of money and tons of relocation started pouring into the area. It's been a very hot destination for people moving out of state. I would highly recommend coming and checking out Ridgefield for yourself if you're considering any of the Vancouver or Clark County suburbs or neighborhoods. And you're actually gonna see some of that old history. I showed that home way back when it was listed. You know, some of the old history. This is getting into the downtown stretch of Ridgefield here. We're gonna go to the waterfront. We're gonna go check out the wildlife refuge, tour a little bit of the downtown stretch before we go and look at a new construction. So as we're driving the downtown stretch here, there's actually a spring festival that'll be taking place in a month's time, the first Saturday in May. You can see a lot of the old storefront buildings. There's a little downtown park there. We're gonna cross over into the wildlife refuge right now. That is a bald eagle flying through the heart of downtown Ridgefield here. There's a cool little festival area that people can hang out. You can see the riverfront, which they're developing, is gonna be going in right there. And just further south, there's a self-guided auto tour that you can do. It's like a maybe 4 or 5 mile drive where you see all the migratory birds that are coming to the national Ridgefield wildlife area. So this here in front of me is the downtown stretch of Ridgefield, Washington. You can see all the different things they have going on here. While it's definitely not as happening as a place like Portland or Vancouver, Ridgefield has its own little sleepy community where there's lots to do. It's growing really fast at a rapid clip. And so you're kind of seeing a blend of the old Ridgefield mixing in with all the new construction and all the activity happening. Tons of new people and new faces moving in. So if you've watched this channel for a while, you might know that I've lived in Vancouver, I've lived in Portland, I've lived in all the suburbs of Portland, so know the area really well. Ridgefield, when you first come in, has Lava Java Coffee, which sounds like one of those little roadside coffee shops that you shouldn't go to, but the coffee owner actually came up from Portland and started a coffee shop up here in Ridgefield. And so I already know her coffee is really good. I actually haven't been to this coffee shop behind me. And look, I'll just tell you straight, I'm an honest person. When I went to the East Coast, when I traveled to England, even when I went to Japan, the coffee and the beer just fell short of what the Portland culture has brought. And so there are times that when you come to one of these suburbs, can fall short of what a big city expectation is. So if you're moving from a place like Los Angeles or San Francisco, obviously there's a ton of choice, but in a smaller tucked away community like this, you might be wondering, does this place hold up to the standards of somebody with maybe higher expectations? Again, I haven't been to this place, I haven't checked the reviews. We're just gonna buy a black cup of coffee because that's a really good indication if the rest of the place is great. And after I get the coffee, you're going to stay tuned because we're going to be driving over to some new construction and I'm going to be going over all the different types and rank the new construction in our area. Oh, all right. So we got the coffee here. Barista's really friendly. Seems like a really charming place. And there's a skate park just across the street, a little city park. This is kind of a place where everything's tight-knit and close together as far as the downtown center. So we're gonna get going to some new construction and I'm gonna go over, you're gonna see a rank chart. We're gonna drive in front of some of them, but we're gonna tour inside of one of them. By the way, I would say this coffee is, you know, right up there with some of the best of them. Not outstanding, maybe not the $5, but you know, $2 for a black coffee. Tastes nice. You can go down, get a coffee, go do like a tour of the wildlife area or go on a hike down there. There's enough to do in Ridgefield that if you're not wanting to drive too far, and you know, 20 minutes south to Vancouver, 40 minutes to Portland, you can have a great just weekend getaway within your own little city sphere. So we're outside standing in the pouring rain. I wanted to keep you, my viewers, nice and safe inside my car so you don't get wet. But this is a Polish home. As you can see with my email correspondence, they don't want me going inside without a bunch of their logos and disclosures, and I can't even show my face. Look, I get it. New construction companies are trying to sell the homes, and whether or not you're happy is a byproduct, whereas my job is to make you happy, and whether or not the home sells is a byproduct. But with that being said, I'm an honest person, and I'm ranking all 5 of the home builders in Ridgefield, and I actually made this handy dandy chart right here to show you that despite Polish Homes not really wanting me to go in and show you the home with my face there, they actually rank really high when it comes to being able to customize the quality. Now it comes at a price point, but when you're paying for stuff like Lennar and DR Horton, you're paying for a national builder to come in and build it at the cheapest price per square footage. It's kind of the fast food of houses. I had somebody who moved from Los Angeles who bought a Lennar home and they were happy, and a lot of these new construction companies are offering incentives, but he also saw that the process was a little bit more tedious working with a national builder, and definitely the quality in a home like a Polish is going to be a lot higher. And everything in the middle, like New Tradition, gives you the opportunity to make the home your own, whereas a Lennar or DR Horton, the national builders, what you see is what you get. Now, obviously, what you ultimately go for is down to you and your budget and your goals. If you're just looking for the most square footage for the cheapest affordability, you can get 2,000 square foot homes for around the $600,000 price point. You know, that's a backyard, that's a detached, normal single family residence. Polish homes tend to be a little bit closer into the 7s, And the one that we're about to go check out is over 3,000 square feet and is in the 9s. But Ridgefield still boasts a fairly affordable price point for new construction because they're building so much of it in the area. They're offering the credits and the closing costs as a way to incentivize buyers without coming down on their price. But the place we're about to go look at is a mom and pop builder that isn't a national or even regional new construction company. They build 1 or 2 homes at a time, and so their price will reflect actually dropping, and it becomes a little bit more of a negotiation on the final sales price. So we're now gonna drive back to a home that we can actually go inside of. We're just driving down this polished home community. You can see very tidy homes, very neat and orderly. I do believe there is a small HOA fee in this community that kind of keeps everything looking nice and pristine. You can see that they're doing a lot more developments down over that way. And it's just a great reminder to, when you're going to like a sales office for new construction and you're one of my viewers, reach out to me first, just down below. That way when you're touring new construction, if you're up here visiting to see if it is your cup of tea, you're not having the new construction working on your behalf. You can go into a sales office if you have a conversation with me and say, hey, I'm working with a real estate agent that's fighting on my behalf. That way you know you're gonna get the best terms possible. Polish is a little bit more above board, but I will say that some of the national builders have tried to pull a quick one on my clients. I had a veteran that bought a home from a construction company that sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. I'll let you figure that one out. And they said, hey, the inspector's not allowed to go on the roof due to liability. And that to me just seemed like a total red flag. And what we found out, I told the inspector, I said, hey, get on that roof. I wanna make sure it's good to go. They had given the bid because it's a national new construction company. They're trying to make money. They had found the lowest bidder on that roof. And when that roof report came out, it was gonna leak within the first 2 hours of the rains coming. We were buying in August during our dry season, and imagine putting all your belongings into the home and you're told, oh, don't worry about it, it's covered under warranty by the sales rep. And then as soon as everything's moved in, imagine that roof starts leaking and now you're living in a hotel or an Airbnb, and then your insurance rates go up. I mean, there's nothing that a warranty can cover on a roof that was installed improperly. We're actually on the south end of Ridgefield right now, and it's really good timing because we're passing by the middle school and the high school. The middle school and the high school just further up. While not the best schools in Clark County, on niche.com they are rated as the 10th best. So they're kind of like that nice B+ middle ground where you're not paying the Camas or Hawkinson or Philida home prices to get into the best schools, but you are getting in at a more affordable price point while still getting a school that's very much growing, and you're gonna see a lot more people like you moving into this school system. So now, you know, if your kids are coming in from California or Arizona, Texas, New York, all these different states or countries that I talk to people from, you're gonna have a lot more kids fitting in because they're both coming from an out-of-state area. So we're actually cutting up through the south end and then cutting back up through the middle, and we're gonna end up seeing the other side of Ridgefield. Up over in those hills over there is the Lennar new construction. You've got Holt a little further south. You got New Tradition up north. There's a decent chunk of new construction pockets in this area that you can kind of see a lot of different new construction, quality of construction all at the same time. And as you can see, not all construction in Ridgefield is traditional. You can see some fairly unique models happening here. But as you can see, for most of the video, you're kind of getting a mix of anything from 90s upwards to new construction, with a couple old farm homes kind of in the mix, because that's what this used to all be, was farmland. And you can see that this is a future park here. We're pulling up to this new construction home that I'm going to tour the inside of for you. The reason I'm taking you inside this home is that you can actually see my face while I show it. I can go over the information while still talking to you about what new construction is like in Ridgefield. So the thing about these new construction homes is that these national and even local builders sell so much volume that they're gonna price it right where they know it's gonna sell. They've got a lot of research and a lot of data to fuel their exact price without budging too much. You're not gonna see a lot of price drops happening on new construction, especially in a hot market in a suburb where lots of people are moving into. But the thing about these one-of mom and pop shops, they might only sell 3 or 4 of these homes each year, and it might not be in the same space. So they don't have the exact same data that these national new construction companies have that are all building the same floor plan. And they can go back and say, well, so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so bought this exact home for this exact price just last month. Are you gonna take it, yes or no? This new construction is a lot more custom and catered to a very specific audience. And while it is a single daylight basement ranch, there's only one of these homes available on the market. And then as soon as the buyer comes in, as they price drop it, a buyer's gonna strike on a home like this when it hits the price that a buyer's going out, seeing these other developments and saying, hey, this one actually kind of makes sense for the price point. Anybody who's seen my other home tours knows exactly what this is. And no, it's not just a shower, it's a walk-in shower. Now it's kind of cool seeing a custom built on acreage with a tire swing back there, because those are still a thing in our little corner of the Pacific Northwest, that you can buy acreage just a few minutes away and build your own property. Now those properties definitely come at $1 million plus depending on how much you're building. But I know of families that have kind of pooled their resources and bought like a family compound out in this neck of the woods where a multi-generational family situation can take place with tons of land. It's really down to what you're looking for and what you're hoping to accomplish. You know, you can almost see Mount St. Helens from out there, and when it's not cloudy, you've got a really good view of it. This luxury living, just a park right over there, vaulted 10-foot ceilings, over 3,000 square feet, mostly single level living. So this home can take you all the way past retirement while still having that nice little basement area if you've got a kid. Even if you want to rent that sucker out to a traveling nurse or something, so you have a little bit extra income to cushion the mortgage payment. But these homes with the custom features like that wood laced ceiling, the tiered landscaping in the backyard, you don't see this too often in new construction when it comes to national builders. They don't have that same attention of bringing everything to one home and dedicating a vision or a plan. They're just saying, this is our model that works. This is the one we're gonna build. And they're following more national research and trends. Now, while the average price of a Ridgefield home is slowly creeping up beyond the Vancouver average price, it's still a hot community with a more affordable price point compared to some of the other places in Clark County where they're building. If you're thinking of Ridgefield as the top of your checklist or somewhere up there, and you want to compare it to other communities in our area, I have those discussions all the time with people. Maybe you've got Camas, you've got Hazeldale, you've got Ridgefield. Maybe you even have a community down in the Portland suburbs that you've heard is safe and a great place to move to that you want to compare it to. I'm here to have that conversation. If you're coming up for a scouting trip, I'd love to get coffee and go over the areas before you really go out and accomplish what you're trying to do up here. And of course, if you're looking to buy or sell a home in our area, I'm here to help. You can reach me right here. I can take phone calls or texts at this phone number, and you can also sign up for a Zoom consultation based on your own schedule on my calendar link down below in the description and the pinned comment. Thanks for watching today's video. Something tells me you're gonna wanna watch this video next, and I'll see you next week.